I'm gonna show you my two beautiful characters. My main characters, you know, after I'm done with this Ogryn, I'm gonna play as this Zealot. He looks super fucking cool. But I also have to inform you, I am in fucking pain. Because a week ago, or two, I was like, hey, you know what would be cool? Like, I really like this game, I like Darktide, I wanna stream it, but nah, I won't, because that will be fucking boring. Like that time when I played Deep Rock Galactic, that was kinda fucking boring. Fast forward to today and yesterday, and what the fuck do I see? People streaming this game and people actually fucking enjoying, actually fucking watching it. And I could have fucking ride that wave, or not even, I could have fucking started it. And instead, I'm like, as fucking always, I'm a bit behind, you know? But literally, I almost fucking started it. But still, we're gonna play as this Ogryn because there's still some penances that I gotta do. I'll take that time while the game is loading to adjust my microphone slightly. Hopefully you can hear me better. Maybe I'll try to talk a bit further so my voice doesn't sound so crispy. But yeah, I fucking noticed, not just like people streaming it, I've noticed people making videos about it, and I really like the Actman, but I haven't watched his video yet, because I kind of wanted to give my own thoughts in regards to this game. I don't want to just, you know, I wanted to be as unbiased as I could. And in regards to whether this game is fixed, I'd say that I think so. I mean, personally, I think that this game is everything that I wanted it to be.
This unit bids you greetings.
Hopefully this level of audio is fine. But yeah, I think that, like, really what I wanted this game to be is Vermintide 2, but in 40k universe. So pretty much, just like Vermintide 2, I want it to be Left 4 Dead, but in Warhammer. Cause really, I just really fucking love Left 4 Dead 2 and Left 4 Dead 1. But you know, that's included in Left 4 Dead 2. So, I mean, I know that a couple of people are still playing the original, but I don't really see the point of doing so. Also, damn, this is kinda... I don't know, I'm still kind of a dumbass in regards to these things, so I'll just, you know... Oh, 17 toughness, I know that this is fucking good.
Completed.
I know as much. So yeah, we're just about to go. We're gonna do some heresy, you know, I think it's gonna be fine. Also, just recently I've learned about that, like, oh, you should be stripping the blessings from weapons. I didn't even, like, because before I just completely ignored that, the whole mechanic. Ah, fuck it, we're gonna test it out. We're gonna see how this works. Corruption resistance, combat ability, oh yeah. Yeah. 17 toughness. And for anyone wondering, this is my current build. I quite enjoy the new update. But it did... Oh, right, yeah. I think that the game is good, I think that the game is finally fixed, but there are a couple of things which were broken by the update, like the penances. If you watched me play Baldur's Gate, you know what I'm talking about. There's this penance Fucking wait, which was it? Oh yeah, this one. Bring the hurt. And you have to hit specialists or elites with big boxes of hurt, which are your grenades as an Ogryn, right? To get these pants. The issue is that when you look at the talents, this, and this all modify your grenades, making them incompatible with this penance. So what you have to do is you have to get rid of all of these skills, you have to unequip all of the skills, only have the first this and these 2 rows, without all of this, so you can complete that penance. And that's what I had to do, which was not very fun, because you have to complete it on Heresy, which I usually play on Heresy, because like, I can play on Damnation just fine, but I prefer Heresy to be, you know, a bit more relaxed. Especially, I mean, I'm playing as an Ogryn, and they have the survivability, but they're not real, like, they are tanks. They are the tanks of this game.
Logistics failure has permitted a heretic strike team to secure a supply stockpile at Manufactorum HL-17.
I think I'll have to lower the volume.
Would redress our suboptimal resource projections. Your holy task is to enter Manufactorum HL-1736 and secure consignment yard Sigma 57. Reinforcements will arrive thereafter.
Yeah, the only penance that I care about right now, currently, level 2 and 3 of me just playing missions, whichever mission as an Ogryn. And when I complete those, I can get 2 very cool looking hoodies, which I really want, even though right now we look pretty cool. Okay, quickly, change the audio, 50% should be fine, okay? I'm not AFK.
Varlets, kindly pay attention to the matter at hand, not
Rock. Good.
conjecture.
Main functions looks like weapons manufacture.
Big machines. This I like.
I shall put this simply. There are a great number of hounds in this area.
Also, if you're wondering, this one has the brawler, I think, voice. You know, which one has the Sa for the Emperor. So, yeah, and my Zealot. Where the fuck are we supposed to go? Because I don't... I'm a bit confused. But still, my Zealot has the judge. The judge's voice. Yeah, exactly.
Now, that is good thinking.
But yeah. Yeah, see, a fuck ton of toughness. So you're a tank as an Ogryn. But yeah. And if that's not enough, I have the shield. So, you know, on this difficulty, it's really, really relaxed. Like, it's very relaxing to be an Ogryn. And if anyone gets downed, you just rush with your special ability, pick them up. You don't have to worry about, you know, being disturbed by enemies. Because Ogryns don't have that, so you can just, you know, pick up your people, your teammates without worrying. Unless there are hounds. Hounds are fucking awful. One thing, if hounds would just disappear, I understand why they're here, but if they would disappear one day from this game, I would not be sad about it. I really see it. Yo, here they come. Daily was just talking about them. I don't mind these guys because they eventually let you go, but hounds don't, and I understand that they are kinda like jockeys in Left 4 Dead. They're here to make sure that you don't stray away too far from your teammates. Now the issue is that with jockeys, you are still mobile. You could influence where the jockey takes you. You could fight against the direction that the jockey wants you to go to. But the hounds just keep you immobile in one place, so you cannot even attempt to return to your teammates. Like, you can't do anything. Like, you can still try to do things when you're fighting, when you get caught by a jockey. Well, if you are alone, separated from your teammates, and a hound jumps on you, there's nothing for you to do. Like, you already lost if your teammates have no way of returning to you. Meanwhile, with a jockey, you can always steer yourself towards your teammates. If they jumped off a cliff, you can steer yourself towards the cliff and fall off and rejoin them. So, jockeys are better because they don't take away your control completely. So you still have something to do and you can try to save yourself, instead of purely having to rely on your teammates, or solely having to rely on your teammates. Maybe I will play some Damnation. But the issue is that, you know, right now I'm a bit of a bad teammate because I'm focusing on talking more than playing, so you know. But it's also heresy, like, I don't really need to. And besides, we have another Ogryn. Now, I've been thinking about making a video about this game, comparing, like, which... Just in general, a video about, like, a legacy of Left 4 Dead 2, and all the Left 4 Dead likes, and which one is the best and carries the torch of Left 4 Dead 2. But I think the conclusion would be that none of them, because Left 4 Dead is still very much around. At least for me, I still play Left 4 Dead. But if I would have to choose, well, I would say that Darktide is the most similar to Left 4 Dead. Because you go from point A to point B, you shoot stuff. With Vermintide, you go from point A to point B, but you slash stuff, hack and slash stuff way more than you should. With Deep Rock Galactic, I wouldn't even call it a Left 4 Dead-like. To me, it's a different kind of game because of the terraforming and because there isn't as big of a focus on melee. It's even less of a focus on melee than in Left 4 Dead. So for me, there's just, you know, the fact that, like, you can't... Like, I like Left 4 Dead likes, I really like Left 4 Dead likes, because I like just mindlessly playing to relax, and not having to think about what I'm doing. So going from point A to point B is fucking fantastic for that. But with Deep Rock Galactic, there's a bit more thought that you have to put into it. When it comes to terraforming things, when it comes to... I mean, it's weird. People tell me that, like, oh, Vermintide, Darktide, they're like... When you ask people to compare them, right? A lot of people say that, like, oh, Vermintide, Darktide, they're way too sweaty in comparison to fucking Deep Rock Galactic. For me, Deep Rock Galactic on, like, fucking level 4 is way too fucking... Like, is way more sweaty than Darktide on level 4, or even Vermintide. But I do think that Vermintide is harder than Darktide. But in general, coming back to it, I don't think that you can compare Deep Rock Galactic to Left 4 Dead. Because it's not Left 4 Dead-like in a sense, like you don't go from point A to point B, like you do with all these other games. Like the objectives are way different, and you can't learn the layouts of the map. I like that familiarity, I really do. I have video games that I could just play over and over again, and I like that. I know that not all, you know, it's not for everybody. Some people want variety, or else they get bored eventually. But not me. I like the repetition. I like learning the layouts and becoming better eventually because of that. So I mean that's the reason why it's been like, you know, more than like 10 years, and I'm still coming back to Left 4 Dead 2, because I mean I've pretty much like played Left 4 Dead 1 ever since it came out, then Left 4 Dead 2, and I still occasionally return to that game. But when it comes to community, right? Because the community is very fucking important with these kinds of games. I would say, surprisingly, that my favorite and most friendly and most talkative community is Vermintide 2. Vermintide 2's community. It's not Deep Rock Galactic's, even though most people disagree with me. It's not that Deep Rock Galactic's community isn't friendly. It's not about that at all. It's very friendly, in fact. The issue I had is that I like to talk during video games. I like to talk with other players, and in Deep Rock Galactic, on lower levels, people do that, but like, you know, I understand why they wouldn't on higher levels. But even on level 4, not on level 5, but on level 4, usually they don't. You know, I see way more GGs, way more like, you know, R, question mark, instead of like, you know, full sentences, instead of actually like communicating. I would even go as far as to say that I've had more, I've had like longer conversations and more elaborate conversations in Darktide than I had in Deep Rock Galactic. Oh, for fuck's sake. Well, I missed that one, but fuck it. My teammates don't know that. But still. So I would say that I genuinely did, you know, I'm talking like conversations like, okay, the guy has to like go for a moment, so now we're waiting for him, so like, how was your day, guys? You know, just like, I don't know, stuff reminds me of Attack on Titan tribute game. The kind of community where we just like, use the game to some extent as a fucking chat room. Which I really enjoy, I really like, and I feel like Vermintide 2's community understands that pretty well. It's kinda... I mean, the thing is that like a lot of people in Vermintide 2 came here from... A lot of people in Darktide came here from Vermintide. But still, I don't know, I guess that the two games have a bit of a different culture which surrounds them. Even though they are similar. So yeah. And also there's this whole like thing with emotes, right? Like Vermintide 2 allows you to do emotes during the game. Which I think is really fucking cool. So yeah, I think that like if I would have to, like all of these games that I mentioned, if I would have to rate them, not even like, oh, which is the best Left 4 Dead like, right? But if I would have to rate them overall, very first place, Left 4 Dead 2. It incorporates Left 4 Dead 1, so, or at least levels from it and the dialogues, so, you know, mostly the same way, just a bit more lighting. Because, you know, Left 4 Dead 1 has way less lighting. But still, Left 4 Dead 2 is on the very top. Undisputed, to me. Second place, Vermintide 2. Oh yeah, what I didn't mention, the thing that Darktide doesn't have, and Deep Rock Galactic doesn't have either, that Left 4 Dead had, but Vermintide 2 has it, are the dialogues. They're fucking fantastic, the banter. I fucking love the banter between the characters. Oh, for fuck's sake. I fucking love the banter during the characters.
Ghost needs some healing.
And the only game besides Left 4 Dead that does it, that people call Left 4 Dead likes, is Vermintide 2. Well, and Vermintide 1. I mean, when I'm talking about Vermintide 2, I also played Vermintide 1. But coming back to it, I did come back to it this year, and it feels way more clunky in comparison to Vermintide 2. I mean, obviously, because the Vermintide 2 is better, it's improved.
I am ready for anything.
So yeah, I mean, but both games are fucking fantastic. Like, if you wanna play one of them, or if you wanna, like, basically, I'd say only play Vermintide 1 if you care about the story, which I know is very weird to say, because these games aren't really, you know, story-driven narratives in a classical sense, but they still have a story that you can follow, and you can get and characters tied to that story that you can get invested in, and I'd say for that. Play Vermintide 1. The issue is that Vermintide 1, at least this year when I tried to returning to it, it had, at least for me, some issues with its servers. I've been kicked out of 2 games. Out of 2 games I played, I've been kicked out of both of them midway through. So that wasn't very fun, and the same thing didn't happen with Vermintide 2 and with Darktide. So the issue was only with Vermintide 1. So I'd say if if you're willing to listen, if you want the story, you could just watch it on YouTube. You could listen to the dialogues on YouTube, and just after that, just start with Vermintide 2. After you kind of understand, like, oh, what these characters have been through in the first game, and you understand their relations between each other, there's nothing stopping you. Like, even if you want to play for the story, or kind of for the story, there is nothing stopping you from just starting there with the second game. Oh, for fuck's sake, I hate the hounds. I really do. So yeah, but to continue, so after Left 4 Dead, Vermintide 2, or just Vermintide, right? Like Vermintide after Left 4, like the Vermintide series after Left 4 Dead 2. After that, it's a very specific thing. For me, again, it's very controversial. Some people may not like it. But I prefer Darktide over Deep Rock Galactic. For me, Deep Rock Galactic, I really like the game, but it's at the end of my list. The reason is, again, because I'm a very specific kind of guy that came to these games from Left 4 Dead, and I like mindlessly going from point A to point B. And I like not having to think in 3D. As much as to have, you know, I like not having to figure out where to go next. So a good Left 4 Dead like has a map that feels like you can go in many directions, but all of these directions will lead to the same place. It's a very well made illusion of choice when it comes to where you're going. And Darktide and Vermintide do have that. I would say that Vermintide probably is better at it. Just in general, is probably better at the maps. And not because of the map layout, but just because the maps are very unique. Every element of the map in Vermintide 2 is unique. So you don't feel like basically... Listen, maybe it's unique in Darktide as well, but I don't really feel it, right? Like, it all looks kind of similar. Like, I do recognize maps, I do recognize them. I know where I am most of the time, right? But still, sometimes these environments look a bit too similar to each other. While in Vermintide, they look super fucking unique. But again, I want people to be very clear. To me, all of these games are fucking fantastic. And so just because I put Deep Rock Galactic on the end of my list, that doesn't mean that it's a bad game. I think it's a really fucking good game. I just enjoy others more because they offer a different kind of experience that I crave more. But I still play Deep Rock Galactic as well. But I think that I just like realism. I like, you know, Deep Rock Galactic is more cartoonish in its presentation. And while certainly that's not a downside, it's down to a personal preference, right? Like, again, I come from like 2013 where every game had to be super realistic and like the fucking color palette had to be gray to look good. So so that's kind of how my brain is wired. This is what I like. This is what I'm used to. And also just I like that all of these games have a story tied to them, but with Deep Rock Galactic has the least amount of story attached to it, or at least if when it does, the story isn't presented as much, and it's fucking like it competes against Warhammer, like it's kind of fucking it's fighting uphill because it's competing against Warhammer, two Warhammer games, 40k and Fantasy, So yeah, of course it's gonna have a tougher time. Like, Warhammer already has dwarves. Like, that's the main thing with Deep Rock Galactic, that you're playing as dwarves, but like, you can play as a dwarf in Vermintide. You can't play as a dwarf in 40k, I don't know why, because I don't know anything about 40k. I am planning to make a stream when I'll just... the stream will eventually just be like, tell me about Warhammer, and then like people, but I need like viewers for that. I need people to actually come to the stream and comment and tell me these cool things. We were supposed to play on Damnation, but fuck it. We're just gonna play one more game, and that's gonna be it. I'm gonna see if this video gets any like reception from people. People like it. I'm still trying to figure out what people want to see. Don't get me wrong, I will still finish other games that I started. I'll still finish Cyberpunk, I'll finish Baldur's Gate, and eventually I'll finish Hotline Miami. But Hotline Miami I actually want to start over, and I want to read the dialogues because it's, I don't like it. I grew to dislike the decision that I made to skip through the dialogues. Also, I think I need to further lower the volume. Two big boys. See, this is what I like. I like the banter. Just a bit of banter. A typical day in life of an ogre geezer.
Here. If habs are big enough.
Yeah. Keep it moving.
Boned implant buzzing.
It's Friday night, peeps. Let's have a good one.
Head for the Skylink Bridge. You can cross into Enclave and Barros from there.
Busy day. Lots of killing.
Fuck yeah. This is what I fucking love about these games. I really like the social aspect.
I'm alone. This boat's ill.
Don't wander. Stay here.
Nice. Hey, I'm personally against, you know, drinking much, but who am I to tell people what to do with their lives? As long as they're not, like, ruining their lives actively, you know? Let people have a good time, I'd say. Especially if they're just, you know, drinking in the comfort of their own home. I think that's way more preferable than fucking, you know, drinking in a club. And potentially, you know, putting yourself in dangerous situations. Like, it's way fucking better to just, you know, drink and play Darktide or Vermintide or Left 4 Dead. I don't fucking know. I know that in the past, on y'all, I've been there. I've been there, playing Left 4 Dead while I was, you know, after a bit of mead. And yeah. I remember being like super fucking bad at the game, but I still got carried by very friendly people that were very understanding and nice about it. And they were fucking... they were fucking carrying me and yeah. It's good people in these kinds of games. Truthfully, I don't remember ever like, I played a fuck ton of Left 4 Dead. I played the most, you know, I played Left 4 Dead because I played since it came out. I came to Vermintide and Darktide a bit later on. Because, you know, I've been a kind of a dumbass. First of all, I was like, oh, Warhammer, I don't know anything about it. I don't know if I want to get, like, into Warhammer. And also I was like, well, yeah, but it's like, it seems like Left 4 Dead 2. I already got Left 4 Dead 2. Why do I need Vermintide for? But eventually I did. Eventually I did. And yeah, it was a fantastic decision. Because again, all of these games have their own charm. Like, that's what I kind of want to... I want to make clear that just because I rated them or whatever, like, all of these games are fucking fantastic. Like, if you have the money for it and have time on your hands, play all of them. Play all of them a little bit. You know, a bit of both of them. But yeah, okay, so I already said that Deep Rock Galactic has the least amount of banter in comparison. Darktide has a weak banter, but a cool voice lines. Some of the voice lines are really fucking cool. Some of the personalities I really fucking like, but they don't come close to characters in Vermintide or in Left 4 Dead, in my opinion. But they're still pretty good. I wish there would be more banter between the dwarves. but of course that would be kind of difficult to implement now, when the game wasn't really made for it. But yeah. Now, I wanted to mention something else outside of the dialogues, but I don't remember what it was. Something that I also felt Deep Rock lacked. But I don't remember what. No, please, I don't want to be that guy that fucking... don't want to be that guy that gets fucking, you know, left behind. And then, like, the team has to fucking come rescue him.
Born leader, you follow, obey. Shut up and follow orders.
Fucking, what was it? There was something that I felt was lacking. Outside of the dialogues. What could it be? Like, genuinely, I'm not like making a joke. I genuinely don't... I can't think of it. But I know there was something that I wanted to mention. What could it be? No fucking idea. I'm sorry, but I have no fucking idea right now. Like, what could Left 4 Dead 2 and Vermintide and Darktide have that Deep Rock Galactic is lacking? Difficult to, you know, think while playing. Hold on, I need to, like, think for a moment. Maybe it'll come to me. Oh yeah, I know. It's not about something that Deep Rock lacks. It's something that Deep Rock has that I don't like. I don't like, I'm sorry, I know that many people like it. I don't like the battle pass, even when it's free. Even when it's completely free. Like in Deep Rock, I would prefer if it would be implemented in a way. I'm fucking lowering the audio. Okay, I would prefer. I think I overdid it, but I would prefer if the season pass would just add things on instead of just switch between seasons. Right, if like every single season would add new levels and make the season pass tree longer. Because I don't like the fact that I understand that you can still get all of it. You can still get every single thing from the from the previous season passes. You can randomly find it on the levels, but it takes so much time. And the fact that you never know where you find when will you find the specific thing that you want, it just gets a bit annoying. And if there is something in the current season pass that you really like, that will mean that you will purposely play the game longer and more often, and then it'll start feeling like a chore. I know it did for me, at least. There was a really cool helmet, a really cool beard, whatever, and I played to the point where it felt like a chore, and eventually I stopped. Because I was like, well, hey. It was like, well, hey, I forgot to have fun. I mean, I still had fun, but it, you know, wasn't, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it better. It's weird, because on the other hand, like, it's still fun. It's still a fun game. It was still fun to play, but it still felt like a chore nonetheless, because I felt like I had to play to get the items.
So, Golden Throne. How it works.
The good Emperor's will and the machine.
So yeah, I like that Darktide has penances. Well, actually both. But you know, Vermintide has challenges, Darktide has penances, and they never go away. I like that. Well, and Left 4 Dead just doesn't fucking have anything. I mean, if you wanna solve the problem permanently, completely, you know, that's not what I'm saying, right? Like, obviously, I don't think that these games shouldn't have, you know, customizable characters. I really enjoy that part. I think that that's something that's better in all of these games. That you can't customize your characters in Left 4 Dead 2. I mean, you can with mods. But you know, but they're mods, and other players won't see it unless they download the same mods as you. I heard something, but it's above us, so now I can't return to it. Yeah, I think that the fucking game was way too loud for most of the time, so hopefully you were able to hear all of my rants. Or maybe it's better if you didn't, because, you know, then no one will be unhappy about my opinions on things, because I know that my opinions tend to be very unpopular. Even, like, really, I'm not even trying to be a contrarian, but I am. I always end up being one. Even when it comes to, like, food. Like, I fucking... Like, I unironically really... Like, it's my favorite pizza is the Hawaiian one with a pineapple and ham. That's my favorite one. And I put the toilet paper the wrong way. Again, unironically, I really do. Because that's the way I've been doing it since I was a child. Since I remember. That's how I always been doing it, and it feels right to me. It feels normal to me. And there are more things like that. So I'm always a contrarian when it comes to this, and the same thing when it comes to these games. Most people would say that Deep Rock Galactic is the best of all of them. Or at least that Left 4 Dead 1 is the best, but then like Deep Rock Galactic is right after. But you know, I can't help it. Like, it's genuinely just not what I'm looking for in these games. So when people said that, like, oh yeah, it's the best Left 4 Dead 2 successor, like, no, it's not, because it's not a Left 4 Dead 2 successor. It's its own game with its own mechanics. It's a completely different game that I enjoy, but I guess that's what the issue. That's where the issue comes from. It's like trying to compare Deep Rock Galactic to other games which are Left 4 Dead like. Is like trying to compare Team Fortress 2 to Diablo, you know, like to Diablo 2. It just doesn't fucking work, because these are different kinds of games. So comparing them is pointless, because it's gonna be like, you know, if you ask which game is better, you're gonna get different answers based on who prefers which kind of game. And it just so happens that I really fucking like Left 4 Dead. And because of that, I really like going from point A to point B. I really like banters. I really liked characters with their own personality that have these banters. That you know, I like some lore being tied to these characters. I like it.
crates! We go up!
But of course, you know, if I wanna rock and stone, and I do want to play around with the environment, I mean, that's something like this swinging.
A pilgrimage without easy return.
Robber's dead! Good work!
The armor avails thee naught.
Flamer!
See thee, firebrand! Begone!
Magic! Oh, scars I can show Emperor! Plenty for us all! Shall we start?
With this grenade, I purge thee!
But yeah. Oh, in regards to like also in the community, when it comes to like toxic players or whatever, which I find the term funny because it's like toxicity is funny. Unless like someone genuinely like, you know, makes your game miserable, right? Like I don't really care about some like angry guy yelling and calling me slurs in a game. Like that's kind of that's funny. You know, what's not fun is if someone like purposely starts to throw the game, or you know, starts to like genuinely like make some personal attacks towards you. But even then, like that, how is that even possible in a video game? Like they don't know anything about you, so like all they can do is just be mean in a very basic way and just throw slurs at you, which again is very funny. So I don't
Flankers needed! Well, root them out of cover!
So to me it doesn't really make much sense to be mad about that. But the only time in all of these games where I've ever seen that is I've seen players
Sure of all this war!
in all of these games, but most of them were in Darktide and in Vermintide, where people, once they died, then they disconnected. But that's not really, again, that's not really toxic, but it's something that I've noticed that people do. That they just kind of give up very easily before you have a chance to rescue them. But of course, on the other hand, maybe they do it so that another person can join and play instead of them having to wait for being rescued. So again, I don't want to call this toxic behavior or whatever. Although I do think it's regrettable when people are being like that. But what I did have once was in Vermintide. And I remember I was playing as an Ogren as well. And two guys... They were also asking... I don't even know, but I don't need ammunition. Oh, I don't think that... But still, what was I saying? Oh shit, I lost the train of thought again. I genuinely did. Shit. What could I have been talking about? Because I already kind of pretty much was done with comparing the games, right? Oh yeah, I know. One time... One time, I had, like, a very angry guy. Was in Darktide. And, oh shit. But one time, I had a very angry guy, was like, during Darktide's, you know, there's this, like, highest damnation difficulty, but there is this extra high difficulty, right? And that was during it. And two of the guys were down. Oh, for fuck's sake, are we gonna lose? Still. So the other guy had, oh shit, we might actually lose this. And it's gonna be because of me, because I was too busy, like, being lost in my train of thought. But still, regardless.
I won't last much longer.
The other guy... Oh, fuck. So the other guy... No! Holy shit. You know, gotta spread some positivity. And I'll finish the... So yeah, two of them were down. I was up. The guy, you know, there was a horde all around. I was shooting at the horde from afar, and then I, you know, started moving up, and the guy was almost dead, and he was like, "Focus on me," and he was, you know, more further than the guy with more time. But both, you know, the situation of both looked pretty bleak. So I wanted to rescue at least one of them, right? And the guy that was further away was like, "Focus on me." And the guy that was, the other guy was like, "Shut the fuck up, you motherfucker!" I just started yelling into the mic. And it was it was so fucking funny. But I was, genuinely, I had only one situation like that in Darktide. I didn't really have any situations like that in Vermintide 2. I had people speaking languages that I didn't understand, so maybe they were, you know, in Vermintide 2, so maybe they were saying something like that. I had people being very apologetic in Vermintide 2 when we were losing. I don't fucking know. Same thing with Left 4 Dead. I never had like people being apologetic because, you know, you don't gain anything for winning or losing in Left 4 Dead, so it's very chill. That's also what I really like in Left 4 Dead. But I had people, you know, also speaking like in languages I didn't understand, so maybe fucking people were mean in those languages, I don't fucking know. But yeah, in general, I never really had any negative experiences, but that's also because I'm not really sensitive to negativity in a way that people might be. To me, it's just fun. It's not even that like, oh, I have a thick skin, oh, I'm such a fucking tough guy. No, it's just like I just think it's funny. I just laugh. If you're gonna like, you know, start yelling at a video game and like calling other people slurs, I'm gonna laugh at that. I just think it's funny. So it's you know. So it is what it is. But yeah, unfortunately we lost the last game. But it genuinely was still fun. I did mean it. So yeah. That's gonna be it. Let's check out the penances, just so I'd know. Okay, 5 games. 5 games left. And then I'll get the first hoodie. Out of 2. So yeah. Eventually, I'm also gonna make a stream where I play as a Zealot. Because I do think that my Judge Zealot looks really fucking cool. And yeah, that was fun. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. See ya. That's it. End of the stream. You fucking motherfuckers. Fuck you. No, but yeah, take care, guys.